Hey there guys, what's up? It's your buddy mikeyperion here, and I hope you're having a great day because we are gonna have some awesome day here in the tazzcraft server. So currently we are preparing for our build for today's episodes because I wanted to go quickly in our building session. So well, now we're just repairing our tools, and last is just this sword, and there you go. And we already have gathered and organized most of the materials that we are going to use. Well, we are a bit in a hurry. Like I said from the last episode, we are getting closer to our final episode for tazzcraft. Yet, well, we still have some pending projects that we have to finish before we move to iCraft, and that will be in a week or two maybe. Well, of course, you are also waiting for Minecraft 1.14, which is, I think, most of us are really excited about, right? But anyway, so before we proceed to our building session, I also wanted to show you guys the statuses of our farms that we have built during the last episode. The potato, carrots, and wheat farm that we have built. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, that will be in a couple of minutes right after this intro. So let me grab these materials that we are going to use for our today's build. So basically, this is quite a lot, right? Well, of course, let's also gather some, let's also get this gravel, I meant, and this sand, just in case we are going to use some concrete. Well, definitely we already have some plans, but I'm not sure if we're going to use concrete. Well, just in case, of course, we'll also gonna need them somehow, maybe. Well, we'll see that about later. So now let's also grab some stones from our stone factory. We'll already have run it earlier, and as well as I hope the smelting, well, I think I also have some spare right over there, no? But anyway, so well, for this episode, I'm planning to build our last skyscraper here in the Cyberperion city in order to finish our Skyline in our awesome city project. Well, I have envisioned this since we have started moving here in this area, so definitely we have to realize that no matter what, right? Well, aside from that, we are also going to have some farms in that skyscraper that we are going to build. First, we are going to have some manual animal farms, so basically some pens for the pigs, cows, and sheep. And secondly, we are also going to include a sugarcane, pumpkin, and watermelon farm, which is pretty much the same mechanics as what we have before. So we are going to build it here, right over on that spot. So let us drop our stuff right over here, so at least it will be pretty much accessible. So well, this is gonna be a massive build, as you can see from the materials that we are preparing right over here. Well, I hope we can fit everything in a short span of time for this episode. Well, but anyways, so yeah, okay, let's get this started. So now we got all of the wheat grown, and it's time to harvest these. And yes, these trampled farm plots are a bit of a problem, but it ain't much compared to the proportion of the wheat crops that we are going to harvest. So as you can see, well, it's just one click and we can harvest all of the wheat in this farm plot. So basically just one easy step, I think, aside from giving the seeds to this farmer, and as well as hoeing again these trampled farm plants. But I guess it's fine. At least we got lesser work compared to a manual one. Well, I guess it's worth it, right? So let's check out the storage system. So basically, all of those crops will go to this chest right over here. So yeah, so it's going here, and I guess this is working fine, right? And checking out the produce of our potato and carrot farm. So I think this is efficient enough for our needs because we are just going to trade them, right? And besides, well, I guess it's pretty too much, but well, we're gonna need them someday, but I don't know when though. And now let's start building our last skyscraper here in the city. Of course, we are going to start with the ground floor. So very much, well, let's start with the layout. So on this part right over here, we are going to have a piston door again, and maybe another one on the back side. And on this part, of course, is going to be a wall. I guess it should be all over the sides, right? So basically, the first step of building is basically making a layout, right? So, well, of course, it's not mandatory, but it will help us a lot. Of course, windows, let's not forget about windows, although I'm not totally convinced about yellow color, but we'll see that about later, of course. Well, I guess it will turn out fine. And we also got this piston door on the backside right over here, which is pretty much, we have this all over the city, right? And of course, we also have in the front part over there. And basically, of course, we need to get done this ground floor, and afterwards we'll just go up and up. So basically that's the plan, and we'll see how this will turn out. Now we're done with the ground floor or the lobby of this building right over hair. So basically, well, I'm not totally fan of checker, but I guess it looks pretty nice. I guess so. Well, so far we also got these elevators right over here. So this one is going to be for us, and this elevator right over here is going to be for the animals that we are going to have for our animal farm that we are going to build in the podium section right over here. And I'm thinking that we could maybe build something like a billboard right over here, maybe a face of a cow. Well, I'm gonna do some of the parts of these building sessions in the form of a montage, but we'll see how it will turn out. So we got face in the front part right over here, and we also have done the layout on the podium section. So basically, I think we have to add more billboards on this corner right over here. Well, I guess it will turn out pretty nice, especially that we are also going to add more animal faces on this section of this building right over here. Of course, well, let's just do it anyway. Well, this is kind of reminds me of a playhouse in a mall, though. But I guess this looks fine, right? But so far, well, we already got some pens on this parts right over here. So basically, we are going to have pigs on this section over here, and this section is going to be for cows, and as well as on the other side and on the top part, we are going to have the sheep. So I guess, well, I know the place for the pens are pretty small, but I guess it will be fine. So on this section, of course, we are going to have stairs going to the top, and maybe some storage chests on the sides. Of course, we are also going to have a ledge on this side. Well, a lot of plants, but anyways, let's just see about the results. Well, placing some roof now, some ceilings, because I totally forgot to make some clips in between though. But this is almost ready, so basically, well, I just need to finish this flooring on the top part, and basically we're done with the podium. And we're done like it's magic. Well, I think it's been a long time since the last time I used that line, but so far, well, this looks pretty good, right? I mean, it looks like a kindergarten school or something like a playhouse or some sort of like those kiddie stuff, right? But anyways, so of course, we are also going to need some of these grains in order to breed those animals. So we have to make sure that we have a constant supply of these grains. Well, that's why we built this first before that, right? So let's harvest this wheat. Again, I guess this is already the third time. And after this, let's already retrieve some animals from far away land. But anyways, of course, I'm gonna do that in the form of a montage. And it's feeding time for these cows, so at least we can already start breeding these guys, right? I also place a box right over there, so at least we can easily store this wheat, and at least we will not forget to bring this wheat every time we remember to feed these guys. Yeah, most of the time I always forgot to breed these animals, but I hope Moyang can think about to have something like an auto feeder for these animals. Well, because we have that in real life, right? I mean, maybe just even like a simple bowl, we can do that, or something like what we have for the pig pens and for the cows. So something like a basket or just a container for in order for these animals to eat from there. Well, I guess it's the best idea because most of the time I totally forgot to breed these animals to feed them in order for them to be, to multiply and for at least for us to have more, for more meat and more wool. Well, actually, for wool, we just need to shear them, right? But anyways, so well, I'm just gonna place some more storage places over here. Of course, this is where we are going to place the items or the wools, the meat, the letters, and those stuff. So basically, yes. So after this, of course, we are going to resume building this building. Of course, well, like I said, it's going to be a massive structure, and we still have a lot of things to do. But anyways, I'll be back. So now let's start working on the main tower of this building. So basically, we already have done the layout, and we also need to have here the sugarcane, pumpkins, and watermelon farms on 3 levels. And on the bottom part right over here, of course, we are going to have the storage system, and we are going to have it with the sorting functionality. Of course, first let's place this storage chest and connect it with some hoppers on the back side, and place the redstone mechanics on the top part, and configure the items accordingly and label them properly. So now it's time to work on our sugarcane farm on this section right over here. So basically, this will going to have one reading system, one collection system, and also one trigger in order to push those pistons that will harvest those sugarcanes, pumpkins, and watermelons that will grow eventually. So first, let's place this reeling system. Connect this rating system to our hoppers or storage system down below. And now we have contained this area for the collection system. So definitely there's a minecart hopper that will go around. So now let's start planting the sugarcane by first placing the sand and placing waters on the side. And of course, planting the sugarcane. And now it's time to place these regular pistons. And let's place some blocks on the backside right over here where we are going to put the redstone line. And let's connect these pistons from the detector rail from the bottom part right over here. And let's connect all of these pistons. And you also need to make sure that the entire place or the entire sugarcane is enclosed, so the sugarcane will go nowhere and it will just be collected by the minecart hopper that will go underneath the sand. So now we're also doing the same collection system for the pumpkins and watermelons. So we also need to connect this on the 3rd level. So on this section, we are going to have the pumpkins on the 2nd level. So first, let's place some grass blocks. And let's place some water on these holes. And let's hold these grass blocks alternatingly. And let's plant the pumpkins. So now it's time to place the pistons. But instead of facing it sidewards, it should be downwards in order to push those pumpkins and watermelons without damaging the actual plant. So of course, we have to place it on the top of the grass blocks and not the actual plant. Of course, if that's the case, you are going to destroy the plant, right? So of course, this is quite tricky to place. We also need to connect this later on the detector rail that we have in the bottom section. So well, at least this piston will be triggered as same as with the sugar canes, and as well as with the of course with these pumpkins, and as well as with the watermelon. So let's place these pistons. And let's also contain this farm so the pumpkins or any of the crops will go only inside these farms. And lastly, let's connect this to the detector rail. But of course, you also need the redstone repeater in order to extend the redstone signal. So now we're actually done with the pumpkins, or at least for this section. So, well, we already have connected this to the detector rail that we have in the bottom section. So at least it will be synchronized. Every time a marked rail will pass on that detector rail, it will also trigger these these pistons that we have here. So basically, the next thing that we need to do is to copy this on the top part. But instead of planting some pumpkins, we are going to plant some watermelons. So, well, that's the next thing, and let's do it. Well, the only difference for this section is that we have to bring back the minecart hopper. Of course, it will pass through here and go around in order to collect the items. And instead of going up, it should go down there back to the starting point. And of course, it will drop all of the items in our storage chest, and as well as trigger again the pistons on each level. Actually, it's synchronized. So, well, that's how it works. So lastly, we just need to copy whatever we have done in the pumpkin farm. So basically, we're just containing this, and we're actually almost done. Aside from this section right over here, I pretty got excited too early though. Well, yeah, there you go. So we also have connected this to the detector rail that we have in the bottom section. So, well, now it's time to test it. So we have to be in that section right over there. Well, yeah, we have no other way to go here but aside from falling. But that's fine, of course. So let's test this out. So let's put a minecart hopper right over here. So eventually, this will trigger all of those pistons in all of those farms that we have on each level. And aside from that, of course, that minecart hopper, I fell though. That minecart hopper will collect all of the drops that these plants, of course, will produce. But currently, of course, these pumpkins and watermelons are still saplings, so we still have to wait for their maturity in order to have those crops, right? But that's for later. We are going to see if this farm is actually or fully producing us some sugar canes, pumpkins, and watermelons. I think there are already some sugar canes, but for the pumpkins and watermelons, we still have to wait for these plants, of course. Well, yeah, that's guess we're done here. I have to do several stuff before we proceed. So let's check this out. Well, these items are actually from earlier, but this one, this sugarcane is already working. So we already have some new crops there. So now I'll be back. Well, we have done some more resource gathering earlier, but for now, I'm dropping by Tasman's place because I wanted to give him some fireworks, but I will consider this as my tax payment for our landowner. Of course, he's the owner of the server, so I'm gonna give him a shulker of fireworks. So hey, Tasman. Hey there. Yeah, let's give him this. So let's say it's a tax payment. No, not it's tax payment. Yeah. Right. I hope he likes it though. I think he definitely need it. So I also need my receipt. Just kidding. But anyway, so now it's time to go back to the base. And so here's a proof that the farm is working. So now we got some sliced melons and of course some pumpkins, and as well as this sugar cane. We almost got 5 sacks from this one. So well, I think this is good now. So we're done here. We're done for the farm. So the last thing that we have to do is of course to build the actual tower for this building. And I think I'm already recording for so long for this episode. So I guess I'm just gonna do this in the form of a time lapse. But anyways, let's do this. Well, anyway, so that's it for this episode. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment, please leave a like, and make sure to subscribe. This has been Mikey Perion, and I'll see you guys next time.